how I do my thing.
UFC Middleweight Championship. And his opponent is the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC Middleweight Champion of the world, Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya wants Cannonier for reasons unlike anything else Adesanya's done, which is everybody that Adesanya's wanted to beat up has spoke about Adesanya unpleasantly, said they could beat him. Adesanya's a true champion. Say you can beat me, nobody else said those words, and it's you and me, right? I get that, and so do you guys. We love that about him. But Cannonier did the opposite. Cannonier and Izzy got sat randomly side by side in an event, and Cannonier was nice to him. Izzy figured, oh, this guy's gonna start in on me at some point, I'm gonna have a long night. Cannonier turns to him, shakes his hand, says, man, you're a great fighter. 4 hours later, they're friends. And Izzy even told the media, he said, if I ever have an opportunity that I get to give to somebody, I'm giving it to that guy because I like him. Okay, now that's a cool story. It's the opposite of a fight promotion, but there's something there. There's something if harvested just correctly. The reason I'm throwing wet water on this, I don't know. That's between those guys, and it was a game that Sean decided he didn't want to play. Adesanya won 4 rounds, and according to one judge, 5 rounds against Vettori. Once you start smoking guys 5-0, that's when you stop having people tune in. It's not great. So if you are Adesanya, he's got to go get this one out of the way with Cannonier. He has to. Jared's earned it. Jared's been told he's going to get it. Izzy wants to give it to him, but we got to get it out of the way. Even after that's out of the way, what do you do? I mean, again, if you want to go back to Roy Jones, he finally walked away. If you want to go back to John Jones, he threw the goddamn belt back and said, I'm out. I'll be back when you guys want to see me more. Supply and demand. There's a little demand and a whole bunch of supply. Take the supply away, come back later. You just fulfilled the greatest principle in all of economics. So who is going to make some interest for Israel Adesanya? Because I saw a guy who did just that 4 days ago. That guy's name is Colby Covington. And Colby was laughed at.
Fake news, man! Well, I don't want to wait till November 2nd, Madison Square. Do it. It's Madison Square Garden. We can do it tonight. We can do it right now. Where are you at?
Laughed at. He was told that's not his division. But I didn't see one middleweight in that division say, Colby, why don't you come on up? Believe me, if I was sitting at 185 and I was one of the boys, and a 70-pounder spoke about my division, whether it was about me directly or not, he'd have heard from me quickly. Not one middleweight said a word. Not one middleweight told that little 170-pounder that he didn't belong, that he couldn't do it, that he wasn't big enough, that he hadn't earned it. The champion did not even say any of those words. Now, the champion gets a pass because his plate is full, and he did weigh in on a 70-pounder earlier in the same week named Chimaev, where he was very complimentary. I'm talking about Adesanya. He was very complimentary. He said, but I'll worry about him when I have to worry about him. He's not in my division right now. Do you know how many problems Colby Covington solves for Israel Adesanya, at least in the short term? Because if those plans aren't put in place in the short term, the long term doesn't look good. Israel Adesanya should have just, oh God, he should have been, and I bet you he was. I bet you he put his hands on his face. I bet you he sighed a breath. I bet you he couldn't believe that the fellow middleweights let a 170-pounder talk about the division that way. Because that's just a sign for things to come. Okay, what middleweight is going to be next after Jared? Okay, one that's absolutely silent about a 70-pounder coming up and taking your spot away. You didn't even defend your throne against a 70-pounder. You made Dana White do it for you? And you're going to be in my future? One of the great talkers in all of sport has to go against somebody that got pushed around by a 70-pounder? Colby Covington solves some problems for Izzy Adesanya. And Colby Covington has a problem, which is he has a golden ticket that says he is the #1 contender in the world, but doesn't get a fight for the strap. Those two need each other. The guy you're fighting, the guy you're trying to do damage to, that's coming back and train and put everything on hold to do damage back to you, that guy that you hate in that moment, that guy is your partner. If you want to do big business, you need the right partner. You need a partner that's going to do his end of things. It would be very hard to think anybody could out-media Israel Adesanya. That anybody would get more requests on bigger platforms and scream from the rooftops more than Izzy. He's great. Unless that opponent's Colby Covington. Colby Covington tried to stake his claim at 185 pounds, and you bitches at 185 let him do it. Playgrounds I grew up on, that means Colby's the guy. All he needs is the blessing of Adesanya. Adesanya's not going to flinch for a 70-pounder because you don't punch down. I understand that. Everybody here has done what they're supposed to do except us, the community, who allowed this to be dismissed. You can dismiss an idea all that you want. When a 170-pounder calls out the king of a division and none of